You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions, make the sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, wait, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. And so, like, I am very new to this being a man thing, and I'm still not there, and I'm on a path. I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know, and it doesn't. And you don't know it till you've done all these things and realize, damn, I'm still a little fucking boy.
A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Not because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you.
Superior, man. It's within you. It's within every single one of us. And the people that have risen to that level were no different than any one of us. It's just that they believed it and they're willing to work their fuck off to get it. It wasn't about the potential. It wasn't about the genetics. It was about the perseverance. And it wasn't about being the hardest worker in the room. That's what got them there. And it didn't happen overnight. They got knocked down more than they ever stood up. But they kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going, because what else is the alternative? To be average again. That sucks, man. And it really sucks when you've tasted success at one point in your life.
Pain is passed down from father to son and son to son. A lot of pain in Troy's life is a result of the pain and the damage from his father that he then visits on his son. We have to, as black men, be mindful of that. Sometimes it's unfair. And sometimes we take it out on those we love. And I'm guilty of that frustration that we all have. But we have a responsibility and a duty to be fathers. Not to just make babies, but to be real fathers. And you can't expect any good to come to you if you don't visit any good on your son or your daughter. So be a man.
Don't back down from anyone. And that's what got me in trouble. I don't play games. I don't kiss anyone's ass. And I'm a real man. And that's regardless of being a fighter, I'm a man. And that's why I want to be a man. And if I die, I want to die a man. I don't want to die a bitch, a little fucking poodle in the street.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you?
Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is?
Because we like him?
Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility.
Every day, I don't feel like doing things that I still do. It's called discipline. It's called being a man. It's not about feeling like doing it. If you only do things you feel like doing, you know what you end up doing? What? You end up sitting around with a belly, drinking soya latte. That's what you end up doing if you only do what you feel like doing. You have to wake up and say, I don't feel like training, but I must train. I will only drink water. I will stop being a loser. You need to do what you're supposed to do, not what you feel like doing. Okay. That's the difference between a man and a child. You do not become a man doing what you feel like doing. You become a man doing what you're supposed to do. The men on the Titanic didn't feel like dying that day. It's your duty. It is your duty to not be a fat piece of shit.
I walked in the recruiter's office and he looked at me and he said, you're fat and you're black. I said I want to be a Navy SEAL. I didn't know there'd only been 35 African-American Navy SEALs at that time in over 70 years. He said I basically had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months because of my age. I was getting too old. I came back 3 months later, 106 pounds lighter. I wish the water was cold. I wish them motherfucking instructors keep on fucking running. I wish the fucking rain. When the ending is unknown and the distance is unknown, that's when you know who the fuck you are.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
A friendly reminder that in 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead, including the people whose opinions stopped you from doing what you wanted all along. Imagine that someone you know achieves every dream and hits every goal they have. Years later, they get old and die. 2 years after that, how much do you care? About as much as everyone else will if you accomplish your goals and dreams. Do it for you.
To become that man that you need to be and that the world around you needs you to be, okay? You need to work on being a good man. Now, before you throw your hands up, there are a lot of people out there that don't know what it means to be a good man. Especially, I'm gonna kick over a hornet's nest here, especially in the deeply religious world. They don't know what it means to be a good person. Listen to me. The absence of evil is not an automatic indication of the presence of good. I'm going to say that again. The absence of evil is not an automatic indication of the presence of good. You've got negative, you have positive, and you have neutral. Neutral is there's no negative, but there's no positive either, which means it's a big zero. And we say, down here on the negative, Dwayne, I don't do drugs, and I don't abuse women, and I don't steal from people, and I don't do this, and I don't do that. And so they do away with all the negatives, but they don't do anything positive. Congratulations. That person's a big zero, all right? Being good is proactive. It's doing something. It's just caring about people.
The emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times.
When you really sit back at your life and you're in that dark room and you're looking at where you started from and you tell yourself, dog, man, my mom is this way, my soon-to-be stepdad got murdered, my dad beat the shit out of me, I can't read and write to save my fucking soul, I've lied about it to everybody, I'm cheating on all these tests. My God, man. And then you put a goal in your mind. How are you gonna feel, man, when you accomplish this goal coming from that shit? Coming from the fucking hell you came from. A lot of people start from a good starting point. They have a good foundation. What if you can surpass all of these motherfuckers? What if everybody who was fucking way up here started up here, and you started with no legs. You had to grow fucking legs to even start walking, and then crawling, and then running. And then you start passing people with all this given to them.
More men realizing that it's not just about the car, the watch, the possessions, working until my eyes bleed. At the project, obviously the finance is what most people think about, right? Well, if I just make good money, I'll be a good provider as a man. Most men think that they're relegated to just being a provider. Well, I provide a roof over their head, they're safe, they have food, they have school supplies, but there's more to being a man, you know. There is more to being a man. What about a level of faith, as in confidence in yourself, faith in a higher power, that there's a path for you, right? Faith in your friends and your circle of influence, that these guys who set up this amazing studio can set it up in a way that we can have this moment, right? So then you've got your faith, you've got your finances, great. What about fitness? And on the fitness side, I believe that physical fitness is the gateway drug to emotional and mental fitness. Most people who do get fit physically completely neglect mental and emotional hygiene. And they are living stressed, overwhelmed, addicted to vices, or financially broke because they completely forgot about the other F pillars. And so that fitness is really about, can you be physically fit? Because think about what level of focus, consistency, delayed gratification, discipline that is required for a man to get lean, jacked, and stay lean and jacked for a prolonged period of time. That's a lot of shit you gotta do.
I had to use all this negative shit that was making me weak and horrible as a person, I had to use this as the power that now fueled me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up. This might be exactly what I need. The darkness is exactly what I need. It's how you look at your situation. And I was looking at it all fucked up.
That poor, beleaguered cashier at Walmart with the tired eyes and the swollen ankles, just look her in the eye and ask her, how are you doing today? Just somebody actually cares. You know, we talk about holding the door. Well, somebody stops on the side of the road. Your neighbor down the road is in a difficult place and they can't get their yard mowed. The old lady across the street, the old gentleman across the street, it snows. Just take your shovel and go on a shoulder sidewalk. Just somebody at work, you watch and you look, and people at work, they're going through a hard time. Just, hey, are you all right? Anything I can do to help? Just in your life, be an agent for good. It's kind of like people say, I support the troops. I support the troops. What do you do for the troops? Do you send them care packages? No. Do you walk up to them when you see them in a restaurant, in the airport in uniform, and do you stick your hand out and say, thank you for your service? No, I don't do anything, but I support the troops. No, that just means you're not against the troops. And going through life, become a good man or woman.
I believe in self-discipline, self-pride, self-motivation. No one has that self anymore. That self is gone. So that driving force that tells you, I have to do this, I took great pride in the fact that I was nobody. And what you just described put goosebumps on me, because that's exactly what I took pride in. Was I'm gonna make sure you're good and you're good. My mom will tell you right now, she's right there sitting.
She is.
She knows I don't buy myself shit. I take great pride in that. I don't want shit. Because how I'm wired to, hey mom, I'm gonna get you this, 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 and this. My girl, everybody's got everything. I don't even own a car, and I'm a multi-millionaire. And I say that with pride. Because what I was here to do as a man, and men may not even want to hear this, it sounds so barbaric. That's the pride in which you have as a man, is that you see your mom, you see your girl, you see your kids, you see all this shit. You see them doing well. That's all a real man wants. They don't give a how they dress, how they look, what they're driving. They don't give a shit. Because why? Your trophies are your family, and they're all walking around. Every man that sees you, they see you walking in with some sweatpants and shit, but they know your family's falling because you put the time in, you put the effort in, you put the work in. And as a man, we don't want none of that shit. We just want respect. And that's what men don't give a now. But the one thing I want is for my family to look at me and say, that's the man. Right there. And men don't have that. They don't know what that feels like. So until you know what that feels like, you're never going to seek that feeling of when things are bad, my family looks to me.
As they should.
As they should.
That's your job.
That is my job. And I earned that. It's not given because you wake up and you're a man.
And it feels real good.
It feels amazing. When anything goes wrong in my family, if there's a flat tire, they don't call AAA. They call David Goggins. Mom's got a problem? David. My mom's sick? David. She don't call the doctors, David. Anybody, they call David. And that's earned. That's a good feeling. And I would challenge men to try that. Try that. Try that for a couple of days. Try working those 20-hour shifts and coming home and having your girl have a meal at home. I guarantee your girl looks at you very different. Every day you come home and you're dirty as or you're just tired and she knows you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, and then when you go to work, she's sleeping because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you look at her, she knows what kind of man she's got. Your mom knows, your dad knows what kind of son they have. They don't know that feeling. It's the best feeling in the world. Money can't buy it, nothing can buy it. So it's just something that we almost can't teach our kids anymore because the world is influencing people from all over. Once they leave your house, you got this weak family, and that weak family, and that weak family saying, why is your dad like that? Why are you doing that? So it's hard to keep it, man. And how can you not want that? How can you not want that? That's old school savagery, bro.
100%.
Old school savagery. Purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL, or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself.
The idea is a very simple one. And, the Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day you're trying to become better.
Clean up your room. Organize your local landscape. Schedule your time. Start taking control of yourself. See if you can stop saying things you know to be lies. Stop saying and doing things that make you feel weak.
This is yours. You're the captain, you're the master, you're the foreman, you're the general, you're the head. Don't give control of this to nobody, especially the devil. Do not let Satan come in here and function and operate, because he has one mission: to keep you off course, to make you not think it's possible, to make you think that God don't hear you. His job is only to destroy you, to make sure that you don't become what God intended for you to become. To find your way in life, it's not an external search, it's an internal search. Because God equipped you the moment he gave birth to you. God equipped you at birth with what you needed. He gave all of you a gift, all of you. Every last one of you, you're gifted. God never created a soul without giving them a gift. All of you sitting in here were given a gift at birth. He put it inside you. You ain't got to look under the ocean. It ain't on a mountain. It ain't under no rocks. He put it in you at birth. He gave you a gift. It is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your God-given gift. That's the thing you should pursue. The scripture says your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of important men. That's what your gift will do.
Be a dangerous man. Now, being dangerous is not being a threat. They're two different things. And it's not about going out and lifting weights and getting a bunch of tattoos and wearing leather jackets and walking around with your chest and shoulders up, hulking around saying, I'm dangerous. That very rarely is that a dangerous man. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the world.
These sort of cornerstones of, I think, classic masculinity are super, super important. But equally important is being kind, is being empathetic, is to stand up for somebody who has less rights than you, somebody who's being picked on, somebody who's being put into the corner, somebody who's just sad.
As a man, we're expected to be a provider, be a protector in a relationship, but it's time that we start expecting more of that.
To be good is to do good to people. And sometimes doing good to people is protecting those people. It's protecting those people, protecting those around.
With complete disregard for his own safety, Lance Corporal Carpenter moved towards the grenade in an attempt to shield his fellow Marine from the detonated blast. When the grenade detonated, his body absorbed the brunt of the blast, severely wounding him, but saving the life of his fellow Marine.
They found Kyle lying face down directly over the blast area. His helmet was riddled with holes, his gear was melted, part of his Kevlar vest was blown away. One of the doctors who treated him later said Kyle was literally wounded from the top of his head to his feet.
It's okay to be a man.
It's not okay. It's necessary. What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working on the sewers. They're up on the power lines in the storms and the rain. They're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning. This thing that works in a miraculous manner. They work themselves to death. And often literally.
If you don't own something, you're not the boss.
You have to take full responsibility for everything that you do. Why be subservient? You must be the master of your own kingdom.
There's a massive infrastructure of unbelievably hardworking, solidly laboring, working class men breaking themselves in half on a regular basis, making sure that everything that always breaks works.
I move slow and easy, all right? But you say one disrespectful thing to my wife in my presence, or I get a phone call from one of my daughters crying. I am not only willing, but I am able to inflict great bodily damage, and I will do so. Feelings has nothing to do with it. This is my dream. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do the things that I don't feel like doing. I'm going to do the things I don't want to do. I'm going to do the things that don't come easy to me, that do not come natural to me. I'm going to get up and do it. You can't live your life on feelings. You cannot let your feelings dictate what you are or are not going to do today.
You know, it doesn't get easy, my friends. Running 12+ miles a day, doing 800+ push-ups a day, lifting weights every single day, working 2 jobs, working out in my comfort zone at the club. But it's worth it. Because if you think it's about business, you're wrong. If you think it's about the money, you're wrong. Because it all goes back to one point. One important point, my friend. I'm in it for the mentality. The mentality to keep going, no matter what happens.
If you just try to be pampered, and if you're trying to be soft, and if you're trying to be the victim, it also you're not gonna go anywhere. We need to get stronger.
So what? You just sit back and you wait for somebody to pat you on the shoulder and say it's okay, at least you gave it your best. Your best ain't good enough. Your best don't work. You need to go beyond your best. You need to go beyond the level. You need to let the world know that you exist. You need to let the world know that you made different. You're built different. You're stronger. You're more passionate. You believe in yourself. When the rest of the world shuts you down, you woke up the next day and you said, I got this. I do this. I breathe this. I am this. You can't stop me for who I am, what I am, who I am, and what I stand for. You don't belong in this world. You don't belong with strength. You know why? Because you ain't strong enough. You're not willing enough. You're not passionate enough. And you know why I'm so passionate? Because the rest of the world don't understand my passion. You know, the world don't want my passion. They think my passion is too much. I'm going to give you a little bit more. You know why? Because passion is what makes me who I am today. Get it. 17. You don't know me, son. Get it. 18. You know me, son. Get it. 19. Big son. Yeah. 20. You got the more in you. Yeah, 21, yeah, get it again. Oh, we want to see it.
You need to love pain. And I know, no pain, no this, whatever, all the, the characters. Oh my, no, this is real. You need to love pain. However, mentally, physically, love it. You need to love it. If not, stay where you are.
The only way you're going to get strength in your life is if you go through that hard moment, that tough moment. I wouldn't have a story if it wasn't for the sucky times in my life. I wouldn't have a story if it wasn't for me going through my depressed moments. So realize this, just because it's a chapter, it doesn't mean it's your whole story. So for me, I just understand that it's very important to embrace pain, to go through it, because I believe the foundation of all strength is pain.
What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to forgo? Because a lot of people, like this guy came in one time, I was a trainer, and he goes, man, I can stop doing anything but my frappuccinos. I go, fucking leave. Because I'm looking for that person like me. People, it's hard for people to understand how I lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything. And when people come to me with that kind of mindset, I can work with you. When you are willing to strip yourself down to nothing and give everything, that's who I want to work with. Because now I can mold you into exactly who you want to be. When you put these restrictions up, And that's why my first question is, how bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live, breathe, or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? You know how to do it. You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it.
The best day of your life is when you realize nobody's coming to save you. And when you can realize that, and you can kind of cynically smile because you know you want the ball in your court, then you're well on your way to being successful. And you take full responsibility of everything, good or bad, even if you don't do the actual task. If you take responsibility fully, you're free.
Get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day, just one day, and go for a fucking run. Commit to one day and see how you feel as you're jogging it back in around 5 or something, as your neighbors are still asleep. Or as you're jogging it back in at 6 o'clock and your neighbor's just getting up, grabbing the coffee, looking outside, wondering, you know, what the day's gonna hold for them. Well, your day's already provided something for you. You see how that works? Mentally, you'll feel like, wow, man, that was fucking alive.
A real person, a real alpha, a real go-getter, they ain't saying shit about nobody.
Right.
That's why you will never, ever hear me dropping somebody's name, running my mouth about somebody. I don't know what you went through. I don't know what you're going through. I didn't wear the shoes you wore when you were a kid. I didn't grow up in your fucked up house. I didn't have your fucked up family. I don't know shit about you. So guess what I do? Shut the fuck up. Because real men don't say shit. Because first of all, we're too busy trying to grind and be better.
Correct.
Second of all, unless we know what we know, we shut our fucking mouths. But nowadays, there's not many real men who live by that creed of like, you know, if you're on social media running your fucking mouth and shit, you're just a bitch.
Correct.
You're honestly, that's not me trying to be some after school special shit. You really are a bitch. Real men ain't doing it. Real men don't care about that gossipy bullshit. Get to work, man.
You don't start things and not finish. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're gonna do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you.
Sacrifice temporary fun for permanent dreams, or sacrifice your permanent dreams for temporary fun. And the reality is a lot of you guys are willing to sacrifice your permanent dreams for some temporary fun.
Yeah.
And that temporary fun is never gonna get you fucking anywhere. Because I'll tell you this, going to the club, partying, drinking, popping bottles, are those people gonna be there 10 years from now when you're a fucking brokey wondering what the fuck you did in the years that you were supposed to be productive? Let me tell you something, they won't fucking be there. You won't even remember them. You might have them in your phone log somewhere, but you won't even know who the fuck they are at that point. Your party buddies and shit like that, they won't be around 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So you gotta ask yourself, since they're not gonna be around, you're gonna have yourself. Do you wanna be able to look at that person in the mirror and be like, damn, I wasted all that time popping bottles, running around chasing women like a fucking moron, and I have nothing to show for it? Or you could go ahead and sacrifice that fun right now and then be able to build yourself into a situation where you could go ahead and go to the club and it's not gonna set you back. It's not gonna fuck you up because you built a solid foundation. You built an empire up where now you have the privilege that you've earned, by the way, to go out and do these things.
90% of your life will suck. 10% will be fucking happy. You may be a lucky guy and have a lot of fucking money, have a great ass woman, all this shit. Trust me, one-on-one with that fucking guy, he's missing something. His life still sucks because he hasn't faced something that bothered him his whole fucking life. Something is still eating that motherfucker up.
I can see my kid, they have 12 years old. The mentality, they are not the same. They are not suffer that.
What's the difference?
The anger. I think the anger. I think that they have the things more easily. Everything it's easily. They don't suffer. And I think they don't care.
I didn't have a motherfucker come wake me up at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning and say, hey, you gotta get your shit in. I had no trainer. I didn't have a nutritionist. It was this self-discipline that I had to survive, to not survive, I was weak, to thrive. No one said, hey man, you're 297 pounds, man. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help, hey man, you're not smart. I'm gonna help you out. I had to work at all this shit. I had to overcome, and it self-disciplines everything. And if you don't have it, I don't look at you right, because I know you're capable of more.
We don't
kill nobody, we don't push nobody, we don't make nobody. Like, if you don't want, okay, leave. Like, even yesterday, I was talking to them. It was Saturday, and everybody complained about they tired. What you want? All week you was work hard. End of the week, if you don't tired, this is good question. You have to worry about yourself. But this is Saturday. Your 6th day, you work so hard. Of course you're gonna tired. Tomorrow rest, and Monday we're gonna begin one more training. If you don't want, go back to Dagestan and stay with your mom. She's gonna give you every day good breakfast. You don't do nothing. Stay there. But if you come here, don't complain. You wanna become best. You wanna become champion. And now you wanna say like you tired? Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody care about you. Even you, if you're gonna watch fight, you just watch fight. They walk out inside the cage, they fight, and they leave. You don't know what happened behind the scenes. This is not your business. Nobody care about this.
Yeah.
He was tired, he had personal problem, family. Nobody cares. You don't know, like, you just see how he fight and he go.
Yeah.
And for this one, you have to train so hard. If you don't want, halas, go back to Dagestan. Nobody gonna ask about yourself. Without you or with you, there is always gonna be champions. With your name, this is your choice. You wanna put your name there? Okay, work hard. No? Bye-bye.
I'm doing something I don't want to do. Every time I start doing things I don't want to do, I grow.
Yes. That's a lesson that people need to hear and learn. It's so important because everybody just wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to sit on the couch. I don't want to go outside, it's cold. I don't want to do this, it's hot. Like, you've got to do things that you don't want to do because you show your body that your mind is the boss. Your mind is telling your body what to do, and then you have control.
I got an email 2 weeks ago from a family member that an 11-year-old boy killed himself from people at school bullying him. One thing about life is that people in life, they're the ultimate puppet masters. They exploit your weakness, and they love to walk you around life and own space in your head. One of the biggest ways to cut those strings and walk on your own 2 fucking feet to your own destination in life is to build self-respect, self-esteem, self-discipline, all those things. Stay hard is not just about going to the fucking gym. Stay hard is about going that extra step when you feel like you can't. That's what builds self-esteem and self-respect. Stay hard.
If you're a victim of any kind, make sure you use that shit to become successful. Don't look for revenge. Look for the fucking reckoning. And I guarantee you, all those people who fucked with you growing up, you might just be their boss. They'll come looking for a fucking favor. And when they do, you got an option to say okay, or do what I do and say go fuck yourself. Ha! Beware of one thing, motherfuckers. Spitting in the wind. That shit comes back in your face. Stay hard.
I don't back down from anyone. And that's what got me in trouble. I don't play games. I don't kiss anyone's ass. And I'm a real man. And that's regardless of being a fighter, anything, I'm a man. And that's why I want to be a man. And if I die, I want to die a man. I don't want to die a bitch, a little fucking poodle in the street.
Fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
It could have been great.
I walked in the recruiter's office and he looked at me and he said, "You're fat and you're black." I said I want to be a Navy SEAL. I didn't know there had only been 35 African-American Navy SEALs at that time in over 70 years. He said I basically had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months because of my age. I was getting too old. I came back 3 months later, 106 pounds lighter. Thank you.
I wish the water was cold. I wish them motherfucking instructors keep on fucking running. I wish the fucking rain. When the ending is unknown and the distance is unknown, that's when you know who the fuck you are.
Sometimes life can really hijack your fucking mind. When that happens to you, you're all fucked up. Your goals, your ambitions, everything's out the fucking window. In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get the fuck over it. They no longer want you. Maybe you failed a test in school, you worked your ass off. Guess what? You failed the fucking test. Get over it, move past it. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. At work, you've been working your ass off for that new promotion. You don't fucking get it, someone else does. Maybe they kiss better ass than you do. Guess what? Get over it. Life will hijack your mind if you let it. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours. Get after it, stay hard.
When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. But I didn't have no, like, I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know, and it doesn't.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me, but why do you think that is?
Because you like me?
Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family.
You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions, make the sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know. And it doesn't.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me, but why do you think that is?
Because you like me.
Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of
to change.
This is kind of part of being a man. It's like, you kind of got to fuck it all up a little bit.
I think so.
I think part of learning is dying. I think part of learning is you got to die a little bit. Because what is learning? Learning is me giving up on my old shit, my old ideas. Those ideas have to die for me to be open to some new shit. And so me learning how to be a better man, I had to die a little bit.
And when you kill shit inside of you, man, there's a fucking hole. And you don't know what to put in there.
Right.
You just got to find the right food.
Right.
The man amongst you, please, my young brothers, please, don't fall for the fitna of the street, man. This deed will make a man out of you. The street will only make a thug out of you. Every single man, Rijal in Arabic, every man is a male. But not every male is a man, and there's a very big difference between the two. He said the Rijal amongst you, the man amongst you, is the one who, when a musiba, when a calamity happens, he can control his anger and his wrath. He can control it. He's patient. This is the man. It's one thing when the brother says to me, listen, I have an addiction and I'm trying to deal with my addiction. Wallahi, I will appreciate it. Look, the man knows he has a problem. No, but I have an addiction and I'm in denial about my addiction and I try to use deen to justify my actions. So brothers will be he'll bench press 100, 120, Allahu Alam what they're bench pressing. He'll bench press amazing weight and it's recorded and Snapchatted. But the same brother cannot lift a blanket for Fajr. You know, my brothers, a Rijal is not determined by his ability to fight or his physical or this. That's not how a Rijal is determined. But for me, above all, a real man is realistic and down to earth and understands that you can't have the pie and eat it too. Have you heard this saying? It's an English saying. They say you can't have the pie and eat it too. Yeah, you can't have everything, brother. And we're trying to have everything. One of the ulama said that the difference between us and the Sahaba, you know what the difference between us and the Sahaba was? He said they only wanted Jannah. That's all they wanted. We also want Jannah. See the difference? They only wanted Jannah. We also want Jannah. You see, a real man is realistic. A real man is realistic. A real man knows and understands that if I'm gonna be a Rijal, see, to be a man, like I said, it's not a taru. It's not something you get. To be a Rijal, these are decisions you have to make. There's sacrifices you have to take. And this is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that you have to live. And a real man and a real Rijal understands that if I'm gonna be a man, I can't be anything else with it. It's either a man or something else. Where am I going with this? A real man is realistic. He understands that when I get married, that when I have children, that when I take on a job, that when I give my word, when I make a commitment, there are sacrifices that have to be made. You see, today, we're not men, we're boys. We're little boys that are stuck in big bodies. That's what we are, my brothers. Wallahi, forgive me. But if we're going to be honest here tonight, we are little boys that are stuck in big bodies. We like to think we're men. We like to think we're men. But when you go by the criteria of Allah and His Prophet, we're very far from it. And he's exactly what I'm saying about being realistic. We love the idea of being with a woman. Who doesn't like the idea? We love women. But no one loves to be married. The commitments of being married, the sacrifices of being married, the challenges and the difficulties of being married is something a real man, a Rijal, knows and understands. But we don't. We're boys. We love women, but no one wants to be married. And understands that in marriage, it's not all rainbows and lollipops. It's difficulties. Yeah, there's good times, no doubt. But there's hardship. And that's why it's half your deen. It's half your faith. We love kids. But no one wants to be a father. Your ability to have children doesn't make you a man. Your ability to raise those children, your ability to father those children, that's what makes you a man, bro. We love money, but no one wants to work, bro. That's why drug dealing and being a runner is so appealing to the young boy. Everyone loves Allah, but no one wants deen. Brother, how can you love Allah but not have deen? No. So now there's this sick culture. Have you noticed this culture? Brother, you don't know what's in my heart. My iman is in my heart, brother. My relationship with Allah is in my heart. So now this idea of the heart, it's very poisonous. Why? Because it comes through. Brother, do you know what's in the heart? No, I don't know what's in the heart. But really he's hiding his hypocrisy with this. Everyone claims they love the Prophet, but no one wants his sunnah. We love Jannah. We love Jannah. but no one wants to die. Tell me, my brothers, is this the quality of a man? No, it's not the quality of a man. A man is realistic. A man is realistic. A man is honorable. You know what this ummah is suffering from, my brothers? Trust me, it's not knowledge. The alam is ocean, books, apps. Wallahi, jump on YouTube. Knowledge is there, it's abundant. What is this ummah suffering from more than anything? The biggest disease, the biggest sickness of the Muslims, the biggest calamity in the ummah. Do you know what it really is? There's no men. And you know who suffers the most when there's no men? Women and children. When there's no rijal, who suffers? You know, in English they say, when the cat's away, guess who come to play? When there's no rijal, when there's no men, when the cat's away, who comes to play? The rats and the mice. No men, rats and mice. Look at our societies. When man comes together, the world comes together. But qasam by Allah, as long as man is destroyed, this world will always be destroyed. We need to restore men. This ummah is suffering from a lack of men, my brothers. Ask yourself tonight, are you a rijal or are you a dhakar? Are you a man or are you a male? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us men. Men whom He's pleased with. Men whom revive this ummah.
Sir, you eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is?
Because we like you.
Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Not because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you.
And my father would tell me stuff like, your life is your life, son. If you want to have a good life, you got to work real hard. You got to get into a good school. You got to get a good job. And that'll lead to a good relationship. You have a kid and you put that kid in a good school. And, it's all up to you. My purpose in life isn't to be happy no more. That's what my purpose used to be, which is such a shitty aim in life. My aim in life, in totality, my whole purpose for existing in life was to be happy. And that's not my purpose anymore.
And now?
Yeah, my purpose now is to be useful. And so it doesn't make me useful to my wife to shame spiral on some shit like that. It makes me useful to my wife to show up for my wife and be stable for my wife when we take our kid to the children's hospital and she's tripping. Bigger scale, in a less specified sense, for a lot of dudes that don't have a masculinity ceremony. There's no puberty ceremony in culture. Right. When do you come in as an American man? When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. And so, like, I am very new to this being a man thing, and I'm still not there, and I'm on a path. But I didn't have I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, and it doesn't. And you don't know it till you've done all these things and realize, damn, I'm still a little fucking boy. Or
you're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions. Make the sacrifices. Make the unpopular decisions and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change. And it's not about going out and lifting weights and getting a bunch of tattoos and wearing leather jackets and walking around with your chest and shoulders up, hulking around saying, I'm dangerous. That's very rarely is that a dangerous man. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the room.
When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people.
These sort of cornerstones of, I think, classic masculinity are super, super important. But equally important is being kind, is being empathetic, is to stand up for somebody who has less rights than you, somebody who's being picked on, somebody who's being put into the corner, somebody who's just sad.
As a man, we're expected to be a provider, be a protector in a relationship, but it's time that we start expecting more of us.
To be good is to do good to people, and sometimes doing good to people is protecting those people. It's protecting those people, protecting those around us.
And with complete disregard for his own safety, Lance Corporal Carpenter moved towards the grenade in an attempt to shield his fellow Marine from the deadly blast. When the grenade detonated, his body absorbed the brunt of the blast, severely wounding him, but saving the life of his fellow Marine.
They found Kyle lying face down directly over the blast area. His helmet was riddled with holes, his gear was melted, part of his Kevlar vest was blown away. One of the doctors who treated him later said Kyle was literally wounded from the top of his head to his feet.
You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions, make the sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
It's okay to be a man.
It's not okay. It's necessary. What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working on the sewers. They're up on the power lines in the storms and the rain. They're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning. This thing that works in a miraculous manner. They work themselves to death, and often literally.
If you don't own something, you're not the boss. You have to take full responsibility for everything that you do. Why be subservient? You must be the master of your own kingdom.
I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, and it doesn't.
There's a massive infrastructure of unbelievably hardworking, solidly laboring, working class men breaking themselves in half on a regular basis, making sure that everything that always breaks works.
I move slow and easy, all right? But you say one disrespectful thing to my wife in my presence, or I get a phone call from one of my daughters crying, I am not only willing, but I am able to inflict great bodily damage, and I will do so. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions, make the sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, and it doesn't.
Who teaches you to be a man? We all have these ladders of battles, roads we have to walk in our given lives. Be you famous or whoever's out there listening. We all have our individual challenges. It's cliche, money don't make it better. It don't. Fame just magnifies the problems and the opportunities. I never looked at things as problems. I look at them as opportunities. Maybe that's something I can say. You know, someone, well, she did this, and I was, well, what an opportunity you had. Yeah, well, the world, you know, because they said this and CNN said that. Yeah, well, what an opportunity you have to make a difference. Because you never know who's watching.
Winners fail a million times. What makes them a winner is that they believe in it, they're headstrong. Nothing's gonna stop them. The spectators have tried it and failed it and remain sitting down. They don't get up anymore because they don't believe it enough. The naysayers' disbelief overrides their ability, potential, and mental capacity that they can be more than that.
Why is that? Why do people assume that tomorrow is waiting for them? Why do people think that that sun owes them something? Why do people think that the idea of having more time is the best time to have? You don't have a lot of time, ladies and gentlemen. All you got is what you have, and what you have is what you need. And what you need is to get up and be about your business. Because life is just that. It's business. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna lay around and wait for your opportunities to pass you by?
Arm yourself with words. Be precise in your language. Right? Say what you mean. Read great men and great women. Make yourself literate. Get your tongue in order. Get it under your own control. Get rid of the ums and the likes and the you knows and the pauses. And get rid of everything you say that you only say to impress other people. And just see if you can say what you believe to be true.
There's sometimes you could be in the meeting and you could be the smartest guy in the room and you don't want to let anybody know that. Let everybody talk, let everybody think they're smarter than you, but you really know what's going on. There's other times when you're in the room, you could be the least smartest guy in the room, but you got to make them think that you're smarter than them. And if you can master that technique, then you can get just about anything you want in any negotiation. I found out that let people talk first. Try to get as much out of them as you possibly can. And then you can kind of figure it out. Like with Gotti, a couple of times I had to sit down with him. I knew that he could never believe that I was winning. So in the midst of the argument, I had to figure out what he really wanted and how I can get what I want, letting him think that he got what he wanted. It's all about how you carry yourself.
In the warrior arsenal, we have different tools. We have physical tools like talent, mobility, strength, coordination, techniques, leverage, angles, timing. But if you're talking about mind, we have different tools, visualization, emotional control. In the spiritual side, we have hope, we have faith, we have patience. Those elements, they give you chance of letting the situation cook in a slow burn and see how it goes. Because if you're impatient, if you don't have the hope, if you're not believing in yourself, but if you faith, you're gonna find the light, you're gonna find the hole, you have the hope, you think it's gonna do well. So you become smoother even in the bumpy rides. So I start to feel like my growth was depending on this growth, not only physical, not only mental, but also spiritual.
I think one of the things that people struggle with is actually being very real with themselves. The difference between the difference between understanding who you are versus who you wish you were. And I think that's something that I'm always very fascinated by when I have a meeting like this. Like, what kind of read do you have on yourself? And how, I think I would struggle a lot if I didn't really genuinely know who I was. And then once you know who you are, you get more comfortable with what you're up to.
Are you gonna let success sit around and wait for you? You believe that success is your best friend. Success doesn't care about you if you don't care about success. You know why? Because success has already made up its mind. It is going in the direction that it needs to go. It is hunting for the one that wants it the most. But you're not doing the hunting. You're sitting around waiting. You become something else less of yourself because you don't believe that you have the potential and the capability to be the best of yourself.
So what? You just sit back and you wait for somebody to pat you on the shoulder and say it's okay? At least you gave it your best. Your best ain't good enough. Your best don't work. You need to go beyond your best. You need to go beyond the level. You need to let the world know that you exist. You need to let the world know that you made different. You're built different. You're stronger. You're more passionate. You believe in yourself. When the rest of the world shut you down, you woke up the next day and you said, I got this. I do this. I breathe this. I am this. You can't stop me.
Just in your life, be an agent for good. It's kind of like people say, I support the troops. I support the troops. What do you do for the troops? Do you send them care packages? No. Do you walk up to them when you see them in a restaurant, in the airport in uniform, and do you stick your hand out and say, thank you for your service? No, I don't do anything, but I support the troops. No, that just means you're not against the troops. And going through life, become a good man or woman. Second, be a dangerous man. Now, being dangerous is not being a threat. They're two different things. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the room. You can't be a good man, a fully good man, if you're not a dangerous man. All right? To be good is to do good to people, and sometimes doing good to people is protecting those people. It's protecting those people, protecting those around us, all right? Third, be educated. Listen, you want to know how to be a man among men? You start following and reading and listening to guys like Jocko Willett, Jordan Peterson, these guys, and start learning. Start reading. And just, the brain is a muscle, and like any muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it becomes. And lastly, be wise. Now, wisdom, it's a lifetime of study, wisdom is. And wisdom's not what you know. Wisdom is knowing how to apply what you know. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is classified as a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in.
There's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him, and that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever.
When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. And so, like, I am very new to this being a man thing, and I'm still not there, and I'm on a path. I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison, coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know, and it doesn't. I know so many dudes can't wait to get back out, you know. Guys that we know, warriors, but even warriors don't make you a man. Also, my definition of warrior has changed.
Me too.
Like, you know, I didn't really know what that meant, and really, it's about bringing others back.
Pain is passed down from father to son and son to son. We have to, as black men, be mindful of that. Sometimes it's unfair. And sometimes we take it out on those we love, and I'm guilty of that frustration that we all have. But we have a responsibility and a duty to be fathers, not to just make babies, but to be real fathers. And you can't expect any good to come to you if you don't visit any good on your son or your daughter. So be a man.
You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions. Make the sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin. If you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change. Okay? I do not have the right to try to change my wife's personality and who she is. I don't have the right to change anybody except myself. But if I don't like me, if I'm not comfortable being with me, well, that's a different story.
A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you.
dudes who've been where I've been or something similar, just know it gets better. It does. Like, it don't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense. It's irrational. It doesn't make any sense on paper that I could have joy in abundance in my life, that I could feel any kind of joy in my life after being what I've been. It doesn't make.
The path isn't clear. It's not lit up. You gotta find it.
That's where the work really is. It's like getting out the way and allowing this bigger thing to work in your life. Because the bigger thing is working in your life whether you know it or not. And you're either gonna let go willingly or you're gonna get dragged. But either way, you're gonna be humbled in this life. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions, make the sacrifices, make the unpopular decisions, and become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
Just fucking go to bed on time. And so if you want the action for this, you set your alarm for when you go to bed, not for when you wake up. If you set your alarm for when you go to bed, you will always be able to wake up naturally at whatever time you wake up. And it's very difficult to oversleep when you go to bed at 9 because you can get 8 hours of sleep and still be up by 5.
What my mother said to me was, Denzel, you do a lot of good, but you must do good the right way. She said, you know what I'm talking about. You gotta serve, you gotta do good the right way. So at 66, getting ready to be 67, having just buried my mother, I made a promise to her and to God to do, not just to do good the right way, but to honor my mother and my father by the way I live my life the rest of my days on this earth. I'm here to serve, to help, to provide.
There are more people that I have met in my life who are dissatisfied by their live it up 20s than dissatisfied by their work it up 20s. Because most of the time in your 20s, you have no idea what you want. But knowing what you need to do to work and move ahead is fairly straightforward. And so you can take the known and make progress on the one that you have high confidence that you can make progress on. And then along the way, gain perspective on what are the things that are actually important to you in your life. And you may find out often that there are far fewer of those things than you really originally thought. Because what you thought live them up in your 20s was actually your mom and your 2 homies who are both mediocre, and you don't care about their opinion now when you're 30 anyways. But what a waste of a life it would have been to, quote, live up your mom's dream or your friend's dreams to then only get to your 30s and realize you didn't live it up and you also didn't work it up. And now you have neither.
I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison, coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know. And it doesn't. And you don't know it till you've done all these things and realize, damn, I'm still a little fucking boy. Or been around people who've been there a bunch of times.
I'd say one of the strongest mental frames that has gotten me through my hardest times is thinking this will be the story that I will one day tell. And that means the harder it is, the bigger the dragon, the more epic the story, and by consequence, the more epic the hero. And if you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them. And the difficult part of the lonely chapter is that the Rocky cutscene lasts 90 seconds in the movie and lasts 5 years in reality.
But cold water, is a universal stimulus for creating adrenaline release. And there's a big range of cold, not infinite, but a big range of cold in which you can generate adrenaline without harming your tissue. Whereas with heat, you get into a very hot environment or very low oxygen environment, you'll also get a lot of adrenaline, but you can also suffocate and burn yourself. So this is why cold is used in Navy SEAL screening and training. And this is why I think so many people really like the ice bath and cold showers. It has a bunch of other positive effects, but it is a great trigger for adrenaline.
Sadness is a perceived lack of options. It's why it feels like hopelessness, because you don't know what to do. You don't know what options are available. You see none. which is why it feels like there's no way out. Anxiety is many options but no priorities, which is why you feel scattered but you can't decide. They feel very different, but fundamentally, those are the difference in the conditions that make people feel like they're anxious or they feel like they're sad. And so when we're working through what you were just talking about with, okay, I want to be gym guy and I also want to be work guy, we have many options but a lack of priorities. And so we have anxiety over the fact that we're not making progress on any of them because we have not been able to say, this comes first. And so if we think about what priority means, it means prior. It comes before everything else. And what I think a lot of people have a hard time doing is being okay with saying no.
Just in terms of having a daughter and knowing that your daughter is one day gonna search your name in a search engine and see that, you know, you are a deplorable, disgusting piece of shit. And that shit hits.
If you think back to college when you were a freshman, you think, wow, this is so hard or whatever. And then by the time you're a senior, you're like, man, these kids are so soft. And so we remember things as harder than they were. But I also think that there is a thread of reality, which is that the younger generation is softer. And I think we are softer than the generation above us. When I think about the guys who were storming Normandy, and I think about the people who would be attempting to do that now, as a class, I think that we are softer. And so the thing is that if you can barely decide to take any action at all and peel your eyes away from your phone for just a moment, it's so much easier to beat everyone else because most people are overweight, they're distracted, they're poor, they have so few skills because it has never been easier to start a business, to make money, to get in shape. It's just also never been easier to do nothing.
We have to change the definition of success. We have to. It cannot be the flex. We cannot put expensive watches and cars and bank accounts on a pedestal. We must get away from that. But that doesn't mean we demonize it either. We have to make it about the process of the game.
The path of personal development is befriending uncertainty. And so I obviously sit from the entrepreneurial perspective, but almost all decisions that you make in the beginning, you have incomplete data and you have to make decisions anyways. And so it's growing comfortable with taking your best bad guess and being directionally correct rather than searching for a perfect answer, because a perfect answer assumes perfect information, which you can only have after you begin. And so in some ways, making a decision is the perfect answer so that you can get the information
feedback
to then improve the quality of the decision later. And I think that one loop is what a lot of people miss out on, is that they obsess for years sometimes on the perfect pick, the perfect business, the perfect job, the perfect mate, when most of the times beginning each step illuminates the next step.
I think the key to happiness is being content while being ambitious. And I think being content comes from gratitude. I'm so grateful for what I have, and I've always been that way, that all this special stuff that has been happening doesn't mean enough to me. This is not where my self-worth comes in.
Yeah, people don't know how to manage their emotions. I think the more, at least for me, the more I've tried to create space between how I feel and what I do, the more consistent my outcomes have been.
When your entire life is only predicated on the health and well-being of a small group of people you love more than breathing, nothing scares you.